Rolling. Welcome, everybody, to another exciting edition of Words, Images, and Worlds. It's already promising to be the best edition ever. I have writer Alan Dunford jumping in, working on, I believe, an hour's worth of sleep and what appears to be an Under Armour diaper. Or is it armoire, I think?
It,
It's Armoire.
it's not armoire.
We're
It's
gonna
not.
say it's armoire.
Listen, I just got out of the shower because I wanted to be pretty for you,
I like it.
and I have my setup in the basement, and the basement is completely underground, so it's a lot colder here, and I think we got about 3 inches of snow.
Oh,
I think it's like
nice,
10 degrees
nice.
here right now.
We might have a
So,
little dusting here where I am, so it'll be guaranteed to shut things down for a long time.
oh yeah.
That's how that goes. Yeah. And I also had comics creator, letterer, Dave Lentz jumping in here as well. Dave is sporting the vitamin waters this morning.
I am.
Yeah, we both have coffee, I believe.
Drink
Um,
coffee, you coward.
If Vitamin Water wants to endorse me, you can call any day now.
There you go. We'll get the patches on the sweater and all the things. And I believe we're talking about ornithology to start out with. So
Yes,
what got you
absolutely.
guys interested in the study of ornithology?
Chicken
Uh,
mostly.
Nice, nice. Yeah. The
is that
universal
what did it?
meat.
Is that what did it
Yes,
for you,
the
Dave?
absolutely. I mean, there's not much I like more than a good fried chicken.
There it
Um,
is.
so I guess what really got me into ornithology was I was studying a bird that is only known in certain parts of the world, a lot of them undiscovered.
Hmm.
It's called a jugallo, and my travels ended me up here when I went to the gathering of the jugallos.
That's
But I
right.
Hmm.
found out that it's also spelt the same way here for juggalo. So I ended up at a concert for 3 days
Oh, wow.
instead of a bird sighting convention. Yeah.
Wow. Very cool. Very
You're
cool.
just
Yeah.
a Jugallo everywhere you go.
Yeah.
From the, I believe,
And
the
they honestly,
species ICP.
yes, and they still have the same mating call. The Jugallo also says whoop whoop, which is weird.
Wow.
Yeah.
Small world, small
Yep.
world. I believe the thing that got me into ornithology, you remember Batman the animated series?
What's that?
Um, it's
Yes.
this guy, he deals with his trauma by dressing up like a bat, and then I don't know, they've done lunch boxes. But there's this episode where he battles this guy named the Penguin who looks like a penguin. And he's like, "Have you seen my cassowary?" They had me at cassowary. So that would be
I
my
did forget to
background.
mention before we started that Alan is the worst. I should have warned you.
He's already said whoop whoop. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
just whoop whoop.
if you'd had actual sleep, what would this be like? Even like feistier, right?
Oh no, dude, I'm like punch drunk right now. So
Yeah,
yeah.
You might remember this later, you
Yeah.
might not. Well, of course, by ornithology, I'm using that as a metaphor for comics. And so I'm going to mention some titles here. Uh, I'll start with a couple that are cross-pollinated, and then I'll mention a few others. So we have Final Girl, Roseblood Manor, which I accidentally called Rosewood. I don't know why. Pocus Hocus, Pocus Hocus. We also have from Dave, Jane American, Good Boy, the forthcoming London After Midnight, which I've done an episode on, and The Knight and the Lion. So you are a prolific team and individual entity. You are
at times,
individual
yes.
entities of productivity. Also, is the new baby, is that yours or did you just find it?
Yeah, so it's weird. Whenever you go to like Sam's Club and stuff, they sell a lot of things in bulk.
Yes.
And this one just happened to fall off the back of the truck. And we just got
That's
that one.
great. That's
Yeah.
great. I need to get over there. Well worth the membership.
One of
You've
those
got the
one of those bulk babies.
Yeah.
that's right. Bulky. Well, speaking of babies and bulk and all of the wonderful things of mass production. What got you guys into comics? What makes this the unique and special space that it is for you?
Dave, my answer is way shorter. So if you want to go first.
No, I'll take the long-winded answer. You go ahead.
Okay.
So that way you can get some naps in between, like when he talks to me and when he talks to you.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
we'll set an alarm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So what got me into comic books, I I've always liked them. But what really like pushed me over the edge was actually manga. So I'm really big into manga. I don't know, love it, love the stories, love the art direction, all that stuff. And then what actually got me really creating was it was 2020 and I was just bored out of my mind or trying to not go crazy. I don't know which one happened first.
That
And
sounds
then I
like
started
2020. Yeah.
yeah, and then I came up with the idea for Pocus Hocus and got connected with Dave, and then it's been hell on earth ever since for me. But
No.
I accept it and I love it. So yeah, I mean that's really what did it for me. The manga Death Note was the one that I remember that really pushed me over for storytelling and everything. And then
Nice.
Berserk, of course. I love dark fantasy, so that was huge for me too.
Cool, cool. I was picking up on the darkness in your work.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And Dave, over to you while Alan takes a quick power nap.
I'm taking a
Yeah,
siesta. I'll see you guys in a
I was
minute.
I was I
All
was literally just gonna say take your siesta, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Uh
Wait, do you have a
comics
prescription for that? I don't want to like.
No, no, that's singular.
Alice.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Or Cialis. I'm not
Yep.
sure what that does. Sorry, go ahead.
So I've been in the comics since was old enough to read them because I had the benefit, or I guess not benefit, depending upon how you view comics, of an older brother that he's been a lifelong reader, and he hooked me on like the Masters of the Universe Star comics because I'm very old, as Alan will attest to, and that was during the 80s at the height of Masters of the Universe. So, what better way to hook me than by something I'm already completely enamored with?
Hmm.
And then, it's been downhill ever since. I wanted to like be an artist, and I can draw and do draw on occasion, but, much like any real artist, I hate everything that I do. So I don't draw. But obviously growing up, I wanted to be, you want to be Jim Lee, you want to be John Byrne, you want to be Todd McFarlane, you want to be like the big guys who were just like, burning up the trails, the charts, as it were, in comics, and that's what you want to be. But then you quickly realize that you are not anywhere near as talented as any of those guys. So then you go to graphic design school, get your graphic design degree, and then slum through magazine design production for about a decade until a
Hmm.
buddy of yours is like, man, why don't you just go back into making comics? And I'm just like, well, why don't I? And then he says, take a class on lettering and then go from there. And then here we are, five years later, and however many books that Alan and I and innumerable people have made together.
Love it, love it. I also appreciate how you told most of that in the second person. That's
Yeah,
a cool Tolkien-like move in the
yeah, yeah.
origin story. I love it. I love it. You of course, dear reader, know. Well, we were talking about 2020 and of course lots of depression as well as creativity, a time of all of those things. Sometimes I think about some of the connections I made in 2020 and I think, is that an actual connection or a COVID symptom? I'm not sure. But I'm curious about the ingredients of like a positive collaboration and experience that works really well because I know comics is this typically collaborative space.
Um, I think it starts at every level, right? Whether you're because I've worked with a couple different co-writers before, worked doing stuff myself. But no matter what, at every stage, it's making sure everyone's on the same page and everyone is and I don't want to say like completely enthused with the project because I mean, you can't always expect your artist to love a book the way that you do, right? I mean, you want them to, that's great, but it's at the end of the day, it's your brainchild that you're trying to bring to life, and you just happen to reach out to someone, that is willing to work with you on it. But I think it's finding people that are all in the same headspace and have the same goal in mind. And
Mhm.
that's something that I've found with Dave working together is we know what we want to do and where we want the project to go. So that's always been super, super helpful.
It's always good to be in a collaboration where the other person is as invested in making a
Mhm.
thing and not just talking about a thing. So that's
Right.
that's awesome. Yeah. Dave, over to you. Any special ingredients for collaboration?
Just pretty much what Alan said. It's just, I've always viewed making comics and comics in general as just fun. Like, we get
Mhm.
to play in imaginary worlds with, hopefully some of our best friends and, make something fun out of that time together. And that's, generally what happens there. There have been some times that are less than that, and, that it is what it is. But at the end of the
Yeah.
day, you still created something that didn't exist before.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And you're tapping into my next question because I tend to focus on the positive. That tends to be a good aura, a good vibe. The kids now say aura. This is what I'm discovering because I
Oh.
teach during the day. So curious about some of those most positive experiences. I'm assuming the two of you get along very well. So I'm imagining that some of those experiences are there, but any that you'd like to hat tip or armoire tip, as it were.
Um, I think uh, it, God, how do I even word this? Like, there's been so many. I feel like I've been very lucky.
Here's the
Um,
thing. You basically just say, I hate everyone except Dave.
oh, is that how that works?
That's
That is absolutely.
Okay, my
repeat
bad.
after Dave.
Yeah. No, like I've gotten really lucky. Like, because I've talked to some of the other creators that are, in our space, and I just hear about some really bad experience that they've had with someone or working with another person or whatever. And all the people that I've like happened to surround myself with early have just been amazing. Um, and Dave and I, we do have a great relationship. Like we talk every day. Like hell, we've even hung out even though we live like two states over.
Wow.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know. It's about the friends you make along the way.
I like it. I like it.
Dave, do you have any positives other than meeting me?
I think that
Actually,
tops it.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I mean, we could go with that, but I was going to say it's everyone but you. But
yeah,
I think everyone
I get
already
that.
knows that.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah. Uh, well, certainly both of you have generated a really nice amount of work already in your careers. What currently has your creative focus? Alan, you're a dad, I'm assuming.
Mhm.
Is this the first child?
Yes, the first.
The
So
firstborn?
yeah, aside from my firstborn,
Yes.
yeah, I got a little girl. She's 9 months old. Her name's Vivian, and I just wish that she would sleep. But aside from that, I guess in my free time, I work full time job. Um, at, I'm back in school right now, working on my PhD. So yeah, it's just a lot at one time. But then whenever I'm not doing that stuff, I'm fantasizing about being a full time writer. Um, and currently, Dave and I are actually, I think, in the midst of probably about. I feel like we always have like three or four projects we're working on together at any given time.
At
Um,
least.
we just wrapped up the Grandma Chainsaw series.
Hmm.
Dave's working on finishing up Pocus Hocus 6. Is it done? No, we got like 2 pages left.
Oh,
Something crazy.
here's the deal. I'm working on it as we speak.
Yeah.
It is
Right now.
it is literally right now. Like, no
Yeah.
jokes aside, it is right now.
Okay, well perfect. So everyone, this is the level of interest that Dave puts into anything.
Yep. Yep.
Um
You get
okay.
It's
you get about
multitasking.
it's like
Yeah.
30%, Dave. That's what you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so we're, we Dave's wrapping up Pocus Hocus 6 currently. We're about to launch Horus and Hell issue 3, which that's been an absolute blast. And then we have another project coming up called Deep Red that we're really excited about.
What is your PhD in?
It's going to be in health education and promotion with an emphasis on population health.
Nice,
And if the
nice.
readers haven't fallen asleep yet, I know.
I have a PhD in literacy. So if you ever need something along the journey or want to talk about the journey or just want someone to yell at and take out things on from the journey, I'm glad to do that because
Oh,
that's what a
I
PhD
need it,
do.
especially the price of higher education.
Yes,
Yeah, I will.
yes.
I will never pay that back.
Just on principle.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. Going thorough with the
Yeah.
education. I like it. I like
Mm.
it. Always have a good friend to bail you out, though. That's what I've learned from Thoreau. So speaking of Dave, creative focus right now would be, I'm assuming some of the things that Alan just mentioned, but anything else that you want to throw into the arena there?
Yeah, my friend Caleb and I, Caleb Palmquist, we ended up finishing up Space Monkey Knights Go issue 2 with Nick Torres. It's our fun love letter to the '80s cartoons. Like, if you're into TMNT, GI Joe, He-Man, any of that stuff, growing up, this is like a love letter to all that. And I obviously have to shout out our fabulous artist Nick Torres, who we waited over a year for to be free just so we could do that book with him.
That's the second reference to 80s culture. So I'm right there with you. I just did another podcast episode with a friend about the beauty of Thundercats and Masters of the
Mm.
Universe and some of those 80s properties. So yeah, absolutely.
The beauty of Thundercats is that none of them wear pants.
That's true. That's true. It's also for people out there that didn't enjoy the musical Cats. If you're looking for another large anthropomorphic kitty story, it's probably the next best one.
Yes, and I believe, from what I can recall, there are no cat buttholes in Thundercats.
That's right.
Well, I'm out
That's,
then.
That's when this is when Alan leaves.
Yep.
Like,
that's right. That's right.
so many
Uh,
cats, and that's my sweet spot.
I did notice you have an actual, it's not a Thundercat, but you did have a cat back there, Alan,
I
just
have
sort
three
of like
cats.
hanging out.
Well, two and a
Yeah.
half. Two and a half.
Nice.
Yeah, I have
Nice. A
yeah.
rescue cat.
Yeah, well, he came with the house. So whenever I
Oh,
got the
nice.
house, he just happened to show up and he was a kitten. And yeah, he comes inside, hangs out. He's the best cat ever. I like him better than the other two that were adopted from a shelter
Nice. Nice.
because the other two are ungrateful.
They're entitled.
Yes, they
They're
are.
entitled.
As most cats are.
That's right. That's right. Well, final question there. We could certainly talk cats and how they might indeed be running things behind the scenes because I used to live in a neighborhood that I'm pretty sure was run by cats. Um, Curious, and it might be, it might be happening at the federal level. I really don't know. But curious about where people can go to learn more. And that could be, online, that could be convention spaces that you find productive, any of those sort of things that you want to throw in.
Yeah, I mean, Dave, this is going to kind of be a filling in for you too because you
Right.
do all of my work.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the best place to honestly find us, I feel like, is Kickstarter.
Mhm.
Just following along with those campaigns and those campaign pages, so that way you're notified anytime we have something going live. Because I promise you, we will always have something going live.
So
Because
it's
we
the
just can't stop.
productivity.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. I want to stop.
Yeah.
It hurts my wallet. Yeah, that's one thing too to talk about. Comics are expensive. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Yeah, to buy them, especially to make them, everything's just it's why. Just okay. Anyway, all right, keep going, Dave. All
Okay.
right.
Um, if anyone searches Dave Does Comics, you can generally find me on various things, Linktree, Facebook, Instagram, et cetera, et cetera. It's all set up through there. And
Nice, nice.
I post very infrequently, but you will be able to find me.
There it
For
is.
what it's
There it
worth.
is.
Yeah, for all the good it does you.
Yeah.
So final official question. We can hit anything that we've missed. Number one resource for ornithology. I mean, I know we have the Audubon book that's a classic go-to with the illustrations, but anything that you find particularly helpful in your ornithological pursuits.
KFC.
Yeah, buckets, buckets,
Yep.
and buckets.
Buckets for everyone.
It's mostly chicken.
Yeah.
And that's good enough. That's good enough for me.
I guess subscribing to Birds and Blossoms magazine. I mean, a year subscription's only $7.
Nice. Is that like a that's not a Mayan by Alec thing?
No, 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 no. This is just I'm not sure who actually produces it.
Uh,
Um,
You
let's
can't
see.
stop with the 80s references, can you?
no, doesn't happen. Early 90s, 80s,
Early
it's where
90s,
I
yeah,
live.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah. Right now, you can save 79% when you subscribe to America's #1 Bird and Garden magazine.
there it is. Who
2 years
knew?
is only $13. What kind of content do you think they have in here?
I'm guessing lots of great recipes for like bird fricassees. I mean, you could do an interesting like herbal garden, have the birds come, and then I mean, you're set.
It's just so strange.
Yeah.
Like, how do they keep finding new material?
There's a
To keep
new movement in
manufacturing
birds and
birds.
moths. That's
Yeah.
right. The surveillance bird edition.
Like, are they surveilling the birds, or is the bird doing the surveilling?
I'm pretty sure the birds do
Yes.
the surveilling too.
Okay, cool. They
Yeah.
have like little masks on.
Yeah, it's like the Chris Christopherson question, am I dreaming you or are you dreaming me? It's like
Are
that.
but are birds even real? Find out on the next episode.
That's right.
Yeah,
Oh, you ended with it. That's the author in you. I love that. You ended
Yeah.
with a tagline. That's right. On the very next special edition of Words, Images, and Worlds with me, Dave, and Alan, or Alan, Dave, and me, we'll do it
right.
alphabetically. We will discuss the ontological nature of ornithology and decide, are birds real? Are they tiny, tiny dinosaurs? Or are they a side effect of your imagination?
Wait, am I real?
Is
Not at
anything
this point anymore.
Oh God, no one, don't go, don't go.
That's right. When I hit this
That's our sign off.
Zoom, there's a red pill and a blue pill. We'll
Don't
see.
do it.
All right. Many, many thanks to you both. Glad to have you back anytime. I always enjoy a creative chat, and it certainly has been.
Hey, thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
having us. I appreciate it.